Okay, I had to go back. I've been thinking, and this is a very on my topics are serious, but this is kind of touchy. This is you know very touchy subject. I know for a lot of people, and it is with abuse and being a victim. When it regards to having it be with family, involving family, and then them acting like ain't nothing happened. And this is some people may not get this, others will. So I noticed, and this is just observation from not just my own personal experiences, but I've had friends and people that I've encountered really over my adult life. And it's just hearing some of them their stories, and then kind of being observant of, things, their life and things like that. But what I've noticed is that people who have been abused to some, whether they were molested, raped, beat to death, half to death, tried to, kill you or whatever, like chain you down to, make you eat your own boo boo and shit like that. Um, a lot of times, first of all, the abuser plays like nothing happened. You never get an apology. They never admit what happened. They make you, the whole family make you feel like you're crazy and like you're a liar. They ostracize you, from the family. You get older and you long to be included, or you even, as you're getting older, trying to still be struggling to be included because you want this desire to be included. You've always been, looked at as different because of what has happened, and it's really because of people's guilt, you know. People who kept it hush hush that knew about it or had an inkling about it, and the motherfucker who did it, or motherfuckers who did it. Excuse me, I'm eating me some fruit. But don't compromise yourself and your emotions just for them. Just so they would accept you. What I mean by that. I'm noticing that the families always want you to act like ain't shit happen. You know, they want you to go around that person like ain't shit happen. Even though this person may have not apologized, act like you crazy. Once you come to family, picnics and things and be involved, like you're supposed to play like ain't shit happen, you know. And when you don't, or when you know, in any way remind them of what happened, intentionally or unintentionally, then they get to backing off and things like that. And that just takes an emotional toll on you because you're already struggling emotionally. They make you want to have to come, you're the victim, but you have to comply and make them feel good and not make them remind them of what happened because they don't want to deal with the shit. So, in order to make them feel comfortable, you have to then play like ain't nothing happened in order for them to be, talk to you. So it's like, oh, you're cool, but we don't want to hear that shit. We don't want to. I don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? And it's like, but you're the victim, and so, and it'd be a lot of phoniness and stuff like that with that, and I just think that's real phony. It's not real you, and it's like if you have to be like that in order to be included, then you're compromising yourself. Why? You shouldn't have to. You wouldn't do that with some strangers, like to be, oh, I have to in order to fit in, I'm gonna, not be yourself or be uncomfortable. Some of these people, adults, have gone through some horrendous and crazy, just wow things as children, just that have been how they've been treated by people who were supposed to protect them. And I just, in a nutshell, I just feel like don't compromise. Because don't do that. Don't do it. I would take my, hey, my upbringing and things that happened to me is no secret. I used to, back in the day, I would talk about my story and things like that. And I'm gonna write a book because, not just about my childhood, but I've had a very interesting adult life. But anyway, I have been going through where, first of all, you go through the emotions of it, and I'm past, blaming or having that affect my present. And that's one thing I'll say. A lot of us, once we master that, we'll be able to just separate. And I think that is, once we get over all of what happened and say, and I'm not saying, I guess get over is not the right word. Put those experiences in a box. Make that box whatever you want that box to look like. Inside, whatever, you want to look like, leather, whatever, lace, whatever color. Just put those memories in a box and close the box. What has happened in the past is the past. It's the here and now. You cannot blame your behavior or emotions on something that happened in the past, because you are in control of your emotions. You are control of your own life. And if you end up, if you blaming them for, you can't blame them for, how you feel, or you can't, because you are control over your emotions. You have the power to go, no, okay, I'm not going to let those the experiences or the things that you've done to me, which are negative and then produces negative energy. I'm not going to feed that or let that radiate on me. I'm going to, put my shield up and not allow that negative energy to, pass my force field. You know what I'm saying? Because that's something I don't need right now. I don't need that. And once we get past that, it's easier to say no. Don't let these people play on your emotions. I got alluded to. I've had situations where, every so many years, because for the longest I wanted to be a part of this family, and I was adopted, but I still wanted to be a part of this family, and I've always had to act like ain't shit happened, or, just no one wants to act like, everybody want to play like ain't nothing or and I'm the liar and stuff like that in front of everybody. But then, some people was like, yeah, I knew, look, you know, I and like I think two years ago, I think it was like two years ago was like the kind of last straw for me. And now I just was like, fuck it. I can't go through that. That's just too much. And then I get an inbox a couple days ago talking about, asking me about my business and how can they, uh, get to see all of my business products, because I own a business. These earrings I made, stained and all this stuff. So I do, so I guess they must have seen my Facebook, how Facebook be, things come up on your profiles come up or whatever. I don't know how it happened, but then I get an inbox, and I'm sitting here thinking like, should I even, because just having that inbox, it could be a text, it could be passing them in passing, but just getting that just drudges up shit. You know what I'm saying? That just stirs up your shit. And I was sitting here for a couple days like, should I answer? Should I answer? Should I not answer? I'm just like, I'm not even gonna answer, because it's like I ain't got time for that, dude. I mean, I'm just not. I'm not gonna play this game. I'm not. I'm just not gonna play it no more, because I can't. I can't allow myself. I won't allow myself to go drudging down that path again for the pleasure of someone else And and then when it gets to, it's like, okay, well, I don't want to do with you no more. You know what I'm saying? And I just and I know some people who personally who are going through similar things where with family, like, do like things bogus, some bogus, just outright outlandish, like, oh my god, stuff happen, and them trying to having to deal with these fakey ass people, like, they have to then act like nothing happened. And I'm just saying, and this is just for people who know what I'm talking about. Don't. And I'm not saying be angry, because I'm not angry, but I'm not finna let you drudge